We are back with another episode of Four Quarter Talk podcast. We're getting closer and closer to being able to call this a weekly podcast again. Uh, fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm Josh Masoki and co-host.
Matas Baranauskas.
And we got to start this on a bit of a low note. Obviously, we heard the news yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day
Today,
before? Yeah, that
yesterday.
Karl Towns has torn his no, he's injured his meniscus in
Yeah,
some fashion. It seems like the medicine that the surgery is like evolved for like those tears because they're saying he can be back within like a month at earliest.
yeah.
So
Apparently, the
like,
Shams or Woj said should be back like early in the playoffs.
yeah, and similarly with Joel Embiid, it's a bit weird. I think maybe that they've been trying out like something new recently. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to act like I'm speaking with any type of authority, but especially with like Embiid, there was like a lot of weird uncertainty around that one too. Like the wording of all the tweets, they never really said like he tore it or in what fashion it was, but they said they're just putting kind of the indefinite label on, but saying that there's an opportunity for them to come back. But whereas like my time as a fan growing up, whenever I hear meniscus, I'm like, yeah, he's done for the year.
Yep.
So, um, yeah, I hope they don't lose it because obviously they're having quite a great year. They're obviously they had the disappointing year last year, fresh off all the signings and everything, but now it kind of started to click and come together. Um, as an OKC fan, obviously we've been trading one and two for like half the season now. Um, but I guess title of this video, do you think that their season is now over?
I don't think so because first of all, if Cat comes back, depends in what condition he comes back.
Yeah.
And now I feel like Ant can actually like even be the guy to do everything because their half court offense will be way faster with Ant as the main guy, whereas you have Cat, like it's obviously slows down a bit, but I don't know. It will be interesting because now who's coming, who's starting instead of Cat? Is it Kyle Anderson? Is the guy started the four? Because if you start Nice Reed at the four, then who's coming off the bench to
Yeah, that's
replace? Like, so it's very tough spot in that sense, but I don't think it's end of the world for them, and still like they what 2 seeds, so they should be fine. The first round should be against weaker opponent, but when you look at the West, I don't think there's weak
there's
opponents in the first round. So
there's
yeah,
opponents
yeah,
coming.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think with me, obviously, like this whole season with us, with OKC and with the Timberwolves trading one and two, there's just been that, they're not allowed to let us enjoy it. It's been that thing that like the Lakers or Warriors are coming to upset both of us. Yeah, they're like with frauds and everything. Um, so if you're in that camp, then maybe you think, okay, now it's even easier. I'll take them out. But I like you. I think what they've demonstrated over the season and the consistencies that they've had, not even just this season, but going back to the playoff series against the Nuggets, I think they've demonstrated a formula that works. And as you said, it opens it up a bit more for Ant anyway, as we've just seen with last night's performance, like 44 points, block at
yeah.
the end, and he's definitely ready to take over and to kind of shoulder that load that is missed with Cat gone. Um, and yeah, I think they are just a better team. I think we do need to start like just believing that if you see a body of work over a whole regular season, 82 games, you should just trust that those habits are going to continue. Um, I think obviously it's a big loss of Cat, but if they can get him back early playoffs, I think they can take care of business in the first round. And in that time, and will probably because he's forced to be in a position because a lot of people that have tried to kind of well, not a lot of people, literally just Timberwolves fans that have tried to shove Ant into like, what about Ant? Is he MVP? Into those discussions. Like his stats have not really been like MVP level, but obviously compared to the other candidates, he doesn't with Cat, with the other players on the roster, he hasn't had to shoulder that load and really go for it points wise, stats wise. And maybe this period will be maybe the silver lining of this period is that it will force him to be more aggressive and kind of get him in a different rhythm going into the playoffs. Um, and that's what you can hope for. But I do think that with how competitive it is at the top of the West right now, I'm not so sure that they're going to be able to hold on to that top two seed, and they might fall down. They'll still maintain home court advantage, I believe, but I don't know if they can maintain that second seed in his absence. I haven't seen their strength of schedule to close out the year. I know OKC's is like one of the easiest schedules remaining, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure about the Timberwolves. I wish I'd research it now, but um yeah, it is a bit if they fall down a little bit and find themselves in a matchup like let's say the Clippers first round in a 4-5 or something like that, then yeah, it would be quite tough to advance to the first round.
Yeah, I think a lot of depends on like their schedule.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well,
Mm.
Minnesota at 12. They have 12 hardest the schedule left.
Mm.
So they
But
still have to play.
yeah, if you
Uh,
look at the surrounding teams as well,
they have to play Nuggets 3 times.
oh yeah, with one big, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
long. Um,
yeah. So
so
yeah, they
if I
might fall a bit down in the standings, but I think that yeah, I feel like they won't fall lower than fourth because like gap between fourth and fifth is quite decent. It is well, yeah, quality is like 3.5 games, so I think they should be fine. But then you have Denver like picking up the pace, and they said they canceling their tour to the White House just so they can be ready to play against Minnesota the next day. So I
and
think that's
Denver, yeah, Denver
yeah.
have the Denver have the 22nd remaining strength of schedule. Uh, yeah, so OKC and Denver, they're both they've got easier schedules left. Let me see other teams in that range. Okay, the Clippers have the seventh, so yeah, they're pretty safe with that one. But yeah, it can that is the thing. It's really about what matchup they find themselves in because the West is so unpredictable right now. At the
Yep.
top, everything could shuffle around and you could just find yourself unlucky. But um, just in terms of, I think they're good enough. They're built well enough. They're coached well enough. They have enough talent to have a next man up mentality to continue just being as great as they've been. Because as a OKC fan, it's been annoying every time that we get first and we have some cushion, it's like you can't lose a game. You literally can't lose a game or they because they've been so consistent. So I think a team that's that consistent, that's that driven, clearly motivated by the year that they've had before. I just don't think they're just gonna fall off a cliff or anything like that. Um, especially with Ant still there. But it is just unfortunate because obviously the way the
Yeah.
season ended last year, obviously this one isn't as self-inflicted as last year's, but yeah, it's unfortunate because they have really bounced back this season and shown that like they're a dangerous team. So I hope that this isn't something that derails their season. Because as much as like that Timberwolves fans are very, very annoying, as an OKC fan, like that they need to get off. Like, bro, like I'll be so real, but this is not the way I'd want them to go out. Like I want to beat them in the playoffs. I don't want them to go out because of injuries. So yeah, prayers up to Cat. Uh, Hope he can get through this and come back at a decent level to start the playoffs. Uh,
100%.
Another injury that got announced was Ben Simmons. He yeah, he's yeah, I don't know, more back issues. He's gonna be out indefinitely, and I don't really know. Like obviously coming into his career, he's drawing a lot of comparisons. LeBron, Magic Johnson, you name it, and injury has been a thing that's been interlinked with his whole career. Obviously, he didn't play his first season um in the last few, but you do have to wonder now, like where we are now. He's not like a young player anymore. Um, he I saw a tweet. It's like he played well enough to get his first extension, and he's played long enough to get on the NBA pension scheme. So he's won.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do have to wonder, like, I think this year or next year is the last on his contract. And does he stay in the league after that? Does he get signed again? You do have to wonder because he hasn't really strung together a full season since that infamous play against Trey Young. So
yep. Like in last 3 years, he played 57 games, missed 189, and he made 106 million for those 57 games. Like that's insane. But
that's
I feel
that's
like,
the fucking dream, man.
yep. To answer your question about the does he get signed? He might get signed, but it will be minimum.
Yeah,
He won't get signed any more than that because he's such a
yeah,
liability on like being on the court itself.
yeah.
So
He has reached the point where he's gonna he's only really gonna receive prove it contracts,
yep,
and I don't know if he can because I as someone that has grown up playing sports, I don't like to assume that someone's faking an injury. Like in any case, I want to give people the benefit of that and say that they are going through something, and something as delicate as a back injury. I know that that can be reoccurring, and that's not something to laugh about or anything or to slight because those they can be an issue. But whether it's a lack of effort or it is literally just that his back is that messed up, uh, I mean that would be worse because that would mean that he just literally can't. That there's no way of him getting back. So yeah, I don't know. It is sad. Like it's a waste. It's a wasted career. And yeah, you do just wonder like, is he going to even just get back to a like, NBA star level? Because obviously everyone's dropped the expectations of him being a superstar or anything, or those early career aspiration goals he had. But even just him being serviceable because he looked like he found himself a solid situation in Brooklyn where there wasn't too much expectation and he could just play in a role that was natural to him. And maybe he could like develop into a kind of Draymond Green type role. And that could be useful on playoff teams. But at this point, I'm not quite sure he might find himself out of the league in a couple of years.
yeah, like he played well this season when he played, but like the fact that he basically can't play, yeah, that's the thing. And he has 40 million next season. So yeah, so and Brooklyn itself, Brooklyn is such a bad situation overall. They are
Yeah.
just bad, like bad at everything. Like Brooklyn is just bad. All right. I
Yeah,
don't think anyone will go there after all the Kyrie, Harden, KD situation. So like they
especially
might be.
New York as good as they are now, because now New York have the fan base, they have the location, but they're also good now. So it's like it's a
Yep,
no-brainer. You're gonna go to New York, you're not gonna go to Brooklyn.
yep,
And they're bro,
yep,
the Nets are this weird. They're like that weird case of team that like kind of like the Raptors have been for a couple of years, where as a collection of players, like it just produces like a trash team. But if you separate all those players, they can be like great pieces on a championship team, on a playoff team. But together, it's just nothing. It's just nothing. So I don't know. Yeah, the direction of that team, I'm not quite sure about that. But at least they have the picks from. Oh wait, no, they gave away the picks. Oh yeah, they
you
could.
have picks like in
But they've got
twenty
the
twenty
yeah,
seven, something like
yeah.
that.
So I guess they just got to hang on tight.
Yeah,
If you're a Brooklyn fan, I'm not sure that there's not many of them, but if you are, yeah, just got to ride this wave. Their
yeah,
history is pretty depressing. I can't lie.
yeah.
It's literally just like failed super teams and then
Failed
promising young
trades.
yeah, failed trades, promising young players that just never pan out, or yeah, teams that yeah. that's that's tough. That's tough. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's not much else I could say about that situation. But
Yeah,
moving on to a less depressing situation. In fact, the opposite, really. Your Boston Celtics.
yeah.
I mean, not the best timing, but
Not the best timing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
wish it would recorded like I saw a message and recorded it yesterday before the game last night, but yeah, not best time, but yeah. Uh
life
yeah,
is pretty
not what
good. Life is pretty
what?
good. Life is pretty good.
Yeah, I
Meanwhile,
know. I know, yeah. To be fair, like yeah, we've lost like two in a row now, but with 7.5 games clear of the second in the East. We had 11 game winning streak with historical like 200 plus net rating. So life is good. We already clinched postseason. So I don't
Yeah.
know, like a few questions, like especially I feel like since JG Redick posted that video about Celtics fourth quarter issues, like everyone started talking, but no one was really talking before that. But I don't know what to say. Like we're playing well, not well enough for last two games. I feel like Jason Tatum really might be in a bit slump, but I don't mind because I rather him play like this now than in the playoffs. So, but I think everything will be fine. And like Jalen Brown became first Celtic in 6 years to miss six free throws. Like it's insane stats.
Yeah, that is crazy. I can't lie.
Miss like he had 41, fair enough, but he missed six free throws when we lost by six. I didn't. I
Yeah.
put my hands up. I didn't watch the game, but I saw that a lot of tweets about Tatum having like go ahead three in the like end of the fourth quarter, and he
Yeah,
missed
I've
it.
seen. You don't want to let Travis scores. I take him for free.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
painful.
it is rough. It is rough. Like,
Especially when everyone hates you as well. Like
yeah, yeah.
literally every single NBA team, like fan that hates Celtics are
No,
like,
listen. I'm coming back to it now, but obviously, like my history as a fan of OKC, going back to when we were contending last time, uh, it is like it is rough because you have overall you have like a great season, but then it's just like those key moments where it's like you're just it's just perfectly set up for slander. Like you can have like a
yep,
12
yep.
game winning streak, but it's just that one loss that the way they lost, and it's just like it's just set up for the memes, especially. I don't envy you as well, especially with you, because like you've just got two players that like the memes are just set up waiting for them. Like these
Yep.
like guy that dances on the TikTok that looks like Tatum. Like it's just tough. The slander is just so set up. There's so many. There's just like a deep bag of memes for the team to get slandered. So it's just like and they don't do themselves any favors. So yeah, you almost want like I feel like the perfect position as a fan is just to have an underrated team that's just going under the radar, just
Just
still
mid,
putting.
just Hawks, just
No,
mid.
no, not even that. Like a team that, let's say they were slandered before, but now they're like undercover having a good season now, and it's like no one's talking about them. Like kind of how the Clippers were for a while this season.
Magic. Like no one's talking about Magic and he's sitting fourth in the East.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I mean like because obviously with the Magic, I think they'd rather people they probably want more people to talk about them because that
Yeah,
is crazy, especially with like like Paolo Banchero having the season he's having as second year player or no, like dragging that team is like and no one's talking
yeah.
about it. It's crazy. But yeah, it's just heavy as the head, that was a crown. Like you're gonna get cooked because they've just been too good. The Celtics have been too good this season, so you're gonna take every opportunity you can. Uh but yeah, some of the teams I see talking about it, I'm like, bro, like your own have you seen your own team? Like, well,
Yeah, exactly. Like some fans care about
Bucks fans
Celtics more than they care about their own team.
Bucks
Like
fans laughing about it is insane. I can't lie. I'm like, yo, have some self awareness, bro.
I
You
saw
got
some tweets from Bucks fans, picture of Doc Rivers. He's coming for you at Celtics. Like, come on, like don't yeah, do some like that's too much.
no,
Like
you're just setting yourself up. If Doc Rivers was coaching my team, I would not say a word. I would not say a
yeah,
word. You just set yourself up. Like the slander will be generational. You can literally. I might put a tweet in the drafts right now about like the Doc Rivers playoff crash. Like in two, like you can just schedule a tweet for 2 months and it's gonna catch. Maybe a month and a half.
and Celtics have now the easiest schedule left in the league. But I feel like it's easiest schedule. But we still have to play Phoenix two times, Bucks two times. It's like easy as well. Like, is it really easy?
Yeah,
To be fair, we have Wizards, Pistons, Hawks, and Hornets twice each. So little step out session there.
yeah. Pistons have been quietly playing all right recently. Like as soon as Monty Williams
I know
decided,
when Monty decided not to play full bench units.
yeah, the fact that he's still doing that is actually, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
it's
was like
crazy.
28 game. I think it was the 28th game, the 28th loss. That's when he was like, yeah, maybe I should play my best young players. Mm,
Yeah,
like,
I
fair
felt
enough.
like last night, Cade 32, Ivy 34.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally, he plays Ivy because like
I
at the start of the
wasn't.
season when he didn't play Ivy, like
Yeah.
makes no
I don't
sense.
know. I was starting to think that it has to be it had to be something like politics or something like trying to because I
Oh,
yeah
when they kept playing Killian
it's
Hayes.
because it's like bro what are we doing here, man?
Yeah,
What are we doing? Because yeah, Hayes was just having the most disgusting start lines like every game. They was like shoot for like 2 for 18 every game. Like yeah, um, but yeah, reading back to the Celtics, I think yeah, I mean there's not to always like compare it to OKC, but just trying to relate. Like there are just some losses that are just kind of you look at it and you're like you kind of make sense of it. It's an 82 game season. Some losses are scheduling losses. Like
yeah,
the Lakers loss we just took was the second night of a back to back and it was a road back to back. And we there was a stretch of our schedule where we played like 6 games in 8 nights, something like that. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, you know. Like you can't expect to win every game.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like it's only 14th loss of the season when we are in March, so it's like I'm really not too stressed about it because I know that some players will definitely step up when like in the playoff time and everything. So
the game,
uh,
the as a fan, I get stressed by trends. Like if we're consistently, let's say we're consistently losing to teams that we shouldn't be losing to, or those key matchups, those key contender matchups, we're always losing those games. Then that's a problem.
yeah,
But yeah, it's nothing really to worry about. I don't think.
I feel like it, and it's it's the way you lose as well and matters as well. Like last night we missed 6-3. Like we missed 9 free throws last night. We shot 11 from 38 from three. So it's like
Yeah.
it is what it is. And Tatum was last. No, yeah. But I think still, like I feel like a lot of at least Celtics Twitter, like I feel like they knew by now. They definitely know that title runs through Denver 100%.
All right. So now we gotta get into a topic that I don't particularly want to get into, but I feel like as a European based podcast, we kind of have to, which is Gilbert Arenas. You start any sentence with that talking about basketball team is gonna, there's a lot of places to go, but we're going to talk about his comments about European players, about the league having to change the rules so that they could make their way in. Or I actually haven't seen the full quote. I don't care to be honest. I don't really go to Gilbert Arenas for basketball takes. He was a great player, but
So,
he just misses so consistently that it has to be bait. So I'm not gonna take the bait. I guess we are right now in a way, but it's one of those things you just have to address. Uh,
because it was quite serious claims as well. It's not like anything not serious. Like I feel like it's a very serious topic he said like stuff
mhm,
about. So
yeah, we've had a few discussions over the years about xenophobia in America and particularly American sports media. Uh, Many examples across sports. You got Stephen A. Smith talking about Otani, saying that can he speak English? I don't know if he could be the face of baseball. Stephen A. has a lot of them. I can't lie. Like talking about Giannis, talking about Luka, saying, "Oh, if they don't draft Aiton, oh man, they don't take Aiton number one pick. You don't want this Luka Doncic guy from yeah.
Perkins
I feel
and
like I've
Perkins on MVP race as well last season. Pretty sure it was last season.
yeah, it's so ignorant, and it's like, especially the NBA. It's worse with the NBA because the NBA basketball is such a global game. Um, I mean, you would know, you're Lithuanian, and that's like the top sport there. Uh, and like, just I'm sorry if you feel like, if you feel scared that you're losing your sport, or whatever. Like, look at the MVP race. Look at the top players rankings. Most of them are international, and let's be real. Let's be real about what we're talking about here. Because when they say European, they're not talking about Giannis.
Yep. Yep.
They're talking about white Europeans. So just say it with your chest if you're gonna say it at the end of the day. And it's ridiculous because when all these players say, "Oh man, it's hard to adjust into the Olympics because it's so physical," but then also they're trying to change the rules to fit them in. Like, I don't understand, because obviously there's this pervasive take over the years about Europeans being soft when it comes to sport. When, let me tell you, that's not the case. That is not the case. Whenever I've grown up, whenever I play against any Balkan teams,
Oh
they
yeah,
are
yeah, you
ruthless, bro. They're
yeah, exactly.
ruthless. I played in the camp a few years back, and it was pretty mixed level. I they let like these there was like these like 14-year-old girls that were part of it as well, and they played. It was like this Christmas tournament thing. And there was this one Balkan team. I'm telling you, they're diving for loose balls on these like 14-year-old girls. Like, this is like grown up. Like, they do not care, bro. They do not care. Yeah, the physicality, everything. It's just like they just want to find any reason to discredit it. Just say that the rest of the world is catching up because they actually emphasize fundamentals and that type of play style. Like, let's be real. America, they produce a lot of crazy talents,
Yep.
high athletic, and all of that. But as even because even back to 2016 when Kobe would talk about it, because Kobe was very passionate about youth development, and he said, as a player that had gone and grown up in Italy, that the youth system in America is just not producing the type of fundamentally sound talents that they need to. It's nothing racial, because you're seeing players, obviously Embiid, who started very late. Wembanyama, now you're seeing Luka Doncic, obviously, is that you have America where people are incentivized to put their kids in the best situation to look great so that they can, get recruited, because they want to get recruited in this college system. It's, let me pull my kid back a year so that he's playing with younger kids so that he looks better, or let me put my kid in a league where there's no competition so he can dominate. In Europe, it's the opposite. As soon as a player shows talent, let's put him up a year. Let's have him play against this talent. Let's have him get better. You got Luka Doncic playing up with professionals from when he's, 15, 16. You see the difference. That's what it's developing. So now these players are coming in more advanced. But instead of having a nuanced take about it, it's just no, they're just this is white stuff. Because you can't. I don't. Yeah, I don't really know, man.
And the fact that he said, "Oh yeah, just take that all out," I wonder what that would do with the sport, like, and with like NBA itself. Like, it would literally be just baseball, like literally another baseball. If like you took everyone, like all the international players and everyone out, like it literally. I think like one one thing that won't happen, like of course, because like views drop massively, like, and all the, like as you said, half of the best players in the league are Europeans now.
Yeah.
Like, and
And it
always
goes.
say, and he says about, oh yeah, they solve defensively, but like, yeah, like offensively they're better, but like you can't. There's only few that are really like liability on defense. Didn't like Margaret won Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Like, and he's saying like Europeans are softening the game. Like, I just, I just usually just I see like 5 seconds of the video, like, or just TikTok, and just like I can't be asked. I will move on with my life because
Yeah.
like,
You
nah,
got your click, bro. But it's
takes
sad
like
because
that are like,
you shouldn't have to twerk for clicks when you're on his level.
and then the late like day later when LeBron reached 40,000 and he tweeted, oh yeah, congratulations, I brought
Yeah,
up
yeah.
40 hours and I
Oh,
contributed
he's so
as well.
shameless. He's so shameless, man. He's so shameless. But yeah, and it goes deeper than players. It goes deeper than players. Like clearly, the league has adopted a lot of European style of play because they see because now with analytics, now they see how efficient the styles of play are. Like when I train, obviously I'm in the UK, so whilst it's European, it's not quite exactly the same as like mainland Europe in the way that they play. But you have a lot of offenses where it's like Spanish pick and roll. You have a lot of elements where it's like you're taking from the EuroLeague style of play, um, and it's producing better results. So the point is, it's the system and structure of the league that produces better talents. Uh, and you can't not play because they try to use it against them, saying, "Oh, they played against pros," like as if that's like an
It's their fault.
twisted.
It's their fault. Apparently, like it's their fault that they play against pros like at that level and not playing in college. And the fact that he said, "Oh, like what Europeans are going to college?" Like these days, quite a lot of Europeans are going to college and getting drafted from like universities and colleges. Like,
That's been a thing for a very long time, so I don't even understand why that would be a talking point. To be honest, like yes, there's players that obviously come straight from the pros out there, but there's also players that because a lot of the players that play at an academy level, like they're playing in a pro league, but they're not getting paid so that they keep their eligibility and then they come and play um in the States. So it's like if smarter people than you are adopting, trying at least making an effort to try to adopt the practices of Europe and scouts that are getting paid to watch basketball 24/7, watch young talent 24/7, are deciding, oh, a lot of these prospects are more league ready, then maybe there's a reason for that, and maybe it's not just they're just changing the rule. Because what does the league like directly gain from like rigging the league to make sure that Europeans win? Because this is the same league that literally like makes an effort to not promote those players as well.
yeah,
I don't know which one is it, man. Which one is it?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of one of those players, Luka Doncic, he had his. I mean, the fact that he wasn't first pick was insane because even I'm not even talking with hindsight or 2020, whatever. I'm not talking with hindsight. At the time, I was thinking like, this is the best player in the draft.
Yeah.
This is the best player. Now, I don't knock them that much for taking Aiton just because I feel like in the league, there's just always been a thing where it's like you just take the center, like you take the big man, he's a safer option. That's just always kind of been a thing. Even though
Well, and the
like
fact that like those teams actually needed like bigs and we were hoping like
yeah,
they
yeah.
can get
Yeah,
be
like
ready.
drafting Luca when you have Booker already, like it didn't make too much
Yeah,
sense. But also, yeah, with the Kings though, God, with the
yeah.
Kings, yeah. I mean, we probably said it so many times, like the
So
connections that they have.
yeah, I feel like too many times that the Kings like what they
Yeah,
did.
yeah, like Vlade knowing,
The reason and the fact like the reason they did it is insane as well.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, yeah, he's had to battle those, and if you're that level, you just have to be that level of player where they just can't say anything anymore, even though they still do. But I guess I have to now kind of contradict myself and ask, like, with the style of play that they have, is he a winning player? Because that's being put into question right now. He hasn't had the best supporting cast historically since he's come into the league, but you're kind of getting to that point now with obviously Jason Kidd led teams with how they a lot of the time put their primary ball handler in a position where they're dominating the ball. You saw that with Giannis. Uh, is the way that Luca is playing right now, not his talent, not his ability, but just as purely his play style, is that going to lead to wins? Is he a winning player right now?
I think like Luka has right now at the moment has decent supporting cast like offensively, but no one really plays defense, including Luka. We saw against when we played when Dallas played Celtics, like the when Jalen Brown scored that 360 layup, like literally Luka just go ahead. Yeah, literally go ahead and score. But like, he's definitely a winning player, but he could even be better if he at least put more effort into defense. And then I feel like a lot of more people will respect him more because right now everyone knows that he's an incredible offensive player and what he can do on the court. But like, I feel like that's the fact that there's no really defense from him.
Yeah.
That's probably rubbing people off. So,
Look, there's some little things like deflection, steals and all that, which people try to use to say because I've seen people say he's better defender than Shea. Look at these stats. And it's like if you actually play basketball, you know the difference. Like you a lot of the things that make a good defender won't show up on the stat sheet in terms of you getting stops and you sliding your feet and doing those things, positioning. Whereas you might just tap the ball, like try reach for a steal every once in a
yep.
while, and that looks like a good defensive play. But I think it's a paradoxical issue that his usage rate makes him more tired on the defensive end, which and he has that usage rate because he has to dominate the offense, which tires him out for defense, and then it just continues in that way, and it's like I don't know. I think they need like quite a fundamental like systematic change. I think they need a new coach definitely, and
100%. Did you see tweet going around with uh the Jason Kidd and guess which quote is the real one? And then like every single quote is like mad one. Like you wouldn't like guess that it's real. But like those are real like some of them were real quotes. Like Jason Kidd, yeah, like let's say he has to go definitely.
no, he has to. Yeah, it's just not working, and I think he has the skills where another coach could unlock a lot more out of him, and you just need a balanced offense to win. I think there's only two examples a of a player averaging 10 assists a game and winning a championship, and that's Magic Johnson and LeBron James, and two of the best players of all time. But even in those seasons, it looked a lot different. Like obviously, it was LeBron in a bubble, but LeBron was playing point guard, but he wasn't like dominating the ball all the time. He deferred to Anthony Davis a lot, and they had a great defensive team around them too. So you need that balance. You need players that like every player has their weaknesses, and clearly Luka does struggle with his defense, but that shouldn't be. That's up to the GM or the coaching to be able to hide his weaknesses and enhance his strengths by giving him a team around him that will actually help him and complement his style of play. Because he's never going to be an elite. He's never going to be an All NBA defender or an elite defender. But you can do similar to what the Warriors have done over the years, where Curry is at least a neutral, maybe even sometimes plus defender because he has a team around him that allows him to be a bit more aggressive sometimes or be a bit less aggressive other times. And it's not just because if you don't have a good defensive team around him, now it makes other teams it's easier for them to just target him over and
Yeah.
over again. And with the way he plays, it's just it's gonna produce bad results for sure. So I think as they're currently constructed, yeah, they're not gonna win anything to be honest. It might make for like crazy historic performances, individual performances, but it's not gonna lead to winning. It's very similar to uh, Harden or Westbrook uh, back in the day. I think when they were at their best, they were in positions where there was a little bit more balance and they were still able to perform, but it's not on them that they have to perform that way consistently or yeah, because when you have a bunch of like with a team like him, you need like playmakers around them that can kind of ease the load a bit. And Kyrie does that, but you're not really putting him in a position to do that consistently. Um, saw like tweets yesterday saying, "Oh, Kyrie open and like Luka just dribbling and all that," but it's like I don't think that's Luka being selfish. I just think that's the style of play that they've allowed to develop over time, and they need a coach that's going to hold him accountable. But yeah, teams like that, you just need it to be completely stripped and done renew. But You
Yeah.
see the Milwaukee Bucks after they got rid of Jason Kidd and they've went on to see more success because it's just not it's just you can't win playing that way. It doesn't work because you may think, oh, you get 10 plus assists, but every player doesn't feel involved because when you have a free flowing offense where every player touches the ball, it makes them feel more motivated that okay, I actually have a chance of touching the ball, I actually have a chance of scoring. And it just makes everyone more engaged. It makes everyone run more back run back on defense harder because they actually feel involved. Whereas when you play that heliocentric style of ball, it's like you pass it and they catch it. Like they've got to shoot at that time, then they don't have a chance to really get any real rhythm. And it's like one other player is touching the ball every possession versus a team like how Golden State used to play, where it's just free flowing. Everyone has a chance to attack. So yeah, I just it's not really Luka, it's more just a style of play. And I do worry that if they don't make a change quickly, it's gonna get to a point where it's hard for them to adjust,
Yeah.
like it was Harden. Because players like that, they can't play with other superstars or other stars, and you need that to win. So yeah, it's definitely a change that needs to be made sooner rather than later. And maybe it would be better for the Mavs organization if they go out the playoffs in a way that really exposes it and forces them to make a change.
Yeah. Hopefully, because yeah, I feel like yeah, as we
Yeah,
have a
Jason Kidd's
conclusion,
hiding behind
Jason Kidd
Luka.
has to go, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, he's hiding behind 40-point triple doubles, like,
Yeah.
and it's tough. Like, Lord knows me as a Westbrook fan, like, just watching like Russ drop like 50, 40-point triple doubles and seeing like Billy Donovan get to keep his job because of that. That was just it was just pissing me off. They're like, yeah, he's still a good coach. Look how well they're playing. Like, or even Scott Brooks back in the day with Russ and KD having to carry. It's literally like I don't even know why he's a whiteboard. He's literally just drawing up like Russ go to room, KD shoot. Like in this at this point in the league where like there's so much more complexity, as we were saying with European style play styles and systems coming into effect. You just can't have an offense that simple and get
Yeah.
away with it. I mean, just go back and watch the Nuggets finals run and just look how they play. You just can't get away with having that predictable of an offense in 2024. It's just not gonna happen anymore.
To be fair, you can't really compare Nuggets to anyone else. Way
Yeah,
one
but
because
that's what you got to go through though.
yeah, as I said, the championship comes to Denver, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but even the last two championship winners, you've got the Warriors who play like the exact that free flowing style of offense as well.
Warriors got carried by Jordan Poole off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is true. But you even need like in order to play the way they play, you need like so much offensive talent that it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Like
You need a lot of players that will buy in into the system, like new system, and like not Jason Kidd system.
yeah, I think they need a refresh because on the path they're on now, Lucas is not gonna retire at Mavs. It's not gonna
Nah,
happen. He's gone in a couple of years'
I
time.
feel like when he got drafted, he was like destined to be a man of like Dirk, man for life.
Yeah,
But the things like if they carry on going like this, yeah, he won't be the man for life.
yeah. It's that problem that happens where a team drafts an elite talent, a generational talent, and then it allows them to be like lazy in the way that they move with trying to
Yeah,
build around him because they think like, oh, he's good enough that we can just sit by, he'll carry us, and we'll still sell tickets, and we've got all that coming in. Why am I going to go up above the luxury tax to now bring in other talent? Or it's like when a player is so good, it allows you to think that you're doing a good job just because they're carrying. Got that with Luka, with LeBron back in the day. So yeah, I hope. I mean, I would like because I like teams. I like there to be a lot of good teams. So I hope that they can figure it out and he doesn't just go and like, join the Nuggets one day. You know what I mean? So they need to fix up quickly. They need to fix up quickly for sure.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
I'm already seeing all these jersey edits and they're just disgusting.
Too many. There's too many of those, like with every single player like you can find. So
Yeah. But Luka's the first one that I've just consistently seen. Like every edit just looks disgusting. It just doesn't fit him. There's no. I'm yet to see a team where it looks good.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, also the OKC one. I mean, I don't really see the fit, but even just him in the jersey, this didn't look right. The Rockets one, the Rockets one was terrible. Oh my goodness, the Rockets one was absolutely terrible. Yeah, so they need to fix it up, and they're on the clock. So I hope they know that they are on the clock. And getting Kyrie is not enough because you're not. It's not a system that's even using Kyrie to the best of his ability. Kyrie's best games have been when Luka's out. So yeah, they need to figure that out for sure. But yeah, that's all we got time for today. We're gonna continue to try to cover the NBA as long as
Weekly,
we weekly. Weekly, we will be back.
weekly.
Uh, especially when you get to the playoffs. We're gonna keep this going.
We might try to do more than weekly.
We might
It
try to
it depends not it depends on you know me, but like yeah.
we might try to do weekly. We might try to do weekly. We are in the real world now, so scheduling does change up a lot, but I will, in the best of my ability, try. Listen, let's just focus on weekly for now. Let's let it be a surprise if it's more than weekly,
Yeah,
rather than me promising an under. Like yeah, under promise, over deliver. Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
yeah.
But yeah, on that point, we are out.